for years. Yet approximately 2 out of 5 of these people will eventually be acquitted. This means that a staggering number of innocent people are being deprived of their freedom. At the same time, there are other prisoners convicted by the courts who continue to protest their innocence. Many of these are also innocent. For these people, the denial of justice is the denial of their basic human rights. Now, the Wits University Justice Project, which started in 2008, investigates the plights of those locked up in South Africa's prison. The Wits Justice Project will investigate the individual cases of wrongly convicted and awaiting trial prisoners. Now, to take this discussion forward, we're joined in studio by Ruth Hopkins, who is a senior journalist at Wits University Justice Project. Ruth, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Now, let's start off with the aims of your organization, the Justice Project. Tell us about it.
Well, we're basically a group of investigative journalists at Wits University and legal researchers, and we investigate the criminal justice system in South Africa. And then so we mainly look at miscarriages of justice, wrongful convictions, prison conditions. You just mentioned remand detention. That's one of our kind of key areas of interest. Mm-hmm. And then we write about it, we write reports, but we also write like journalistic articles, produce radio.
Mm. Do you also work closely with Legal Aid SA or not?
Not closely, but I've written about them, and what we also do is when prisoners write to us or phone to us and tell us about their case, we will sort of help them find a lawyer to mediate. Now,
let's take a look at presidential pardons. Who qualify for presidential pardons?
Well, anyone who has exhausted all his legal remedies, which means he or she has been convicted and has no legal avenue left to appeal the decision, can then apply for a presidential pardon if he or she thinks that he or she's wrongfully convicted.
Do you get a number of requests from prisoners that did receive a presidential pardon?
No, actually. In South Africa, there are two different presidential pardons. One is through the Constitution, but that is just it's called a mercy pardon. So it's just it's not a corrective thing. So they don't actually re-look at your case. They just say, okay, we kind of forgive you. And then there's the presidential pardon route through the Criminal Procedure Act. And that goes through the minister. The Minister of Justice looks at the case, then refers it back to a court. The court then looks at new evidence, and then eventually the president will pardon that person. And then criminal records are expunged, and it's a corrective kind of presidential pardon. I'm currently involved in one case involving this kind of pardon. And as far as I know, there are no known cases, successful cases, of cases that have been reviewed.
Mm-hmm. But it would make absolute sense to me that if you do receive a presidential pardon, that you're supposed to be free to go immediately. Or it doesn't work like that.
Well, as far as I know, under the Criminal Procedure Act, there have been no cases of people who've received the actual pardon. Mm-hmm. And I'm involved with a case of Fusi Mofokeng, and Chokolo Mokoena, two guys who were wrongfully convicted at the tail end of apartheid. They spent 19 years in jail for a crime they didn't commit. They're currently applying for this presidential pardon. They applied previously in 2001, and the application's it's gone missing, like it's disappeared in some drawer. And I think that happens quite a bit. Like, it's not really something that's taken very seriously.
So it's all the red tape and bungling that makes it impossible really for a person or prisoner that has got a presidential pardon to go home.
It's the red tape and the bureaucracy. It's also it's quite a challenging legal route. You need really good lawyers who are tenacious and who really look into the case and provide the court with new evidence. And I think a lot of inmates, they don't have like the proper legal representation. They might have a legal aid lawyer, but you really need to invest a lot of time and money in this to actually succeed.
Now, in your experience as the Justice Project, what is the leading cause for people awaiting trial for so many years? And not just, we're not just talking about presidential pardons now.
Yeah, no, that's the remand detention. I'd say it's actually mainly caused by a kind of like clogged up court system. I've followed several trials whereby court sessions are postponed endlessly because, and it's often in cases with several accused. And so there'll be several accused and they all have their lawyers. And then if one lawyer doesn't turn up, the case is postponed. And so this will go on and on and on. With one of the cases that I've done a lot of research into is the longest awaiting trial prisoner in South Africa, Victor Nkomo. He's been in Sun City jail for nearly 8 years, still awaiting his trial. And it's a trial with four co-accused. And at one point, for example, the magistrate died. So then the whole case had to start from scratch. And now he's been told by the prosecutor he'll probably have to wait another 3 years. So it's kind of a dysfunctional court system, really.
Now since the Wits Justice Project started in 2008, give us some of your success stories.
Well, I'm very proud of our involvement with that case of Fusi Mofokeng and Chokolo Mokoena, 2 men who were arrested at the tail end of apartheid, and there was a crime committed by an SDU unit, and they were just at the wrong place at the wrong time and were arrested. The SDU members went before the Truth and Reconciliation Committee and they confessed their crime. They were released. These 2 guys said, we didn't commit the crime, we can't confess. And then the TRC said, okay, off you go back to jail. And then, like, I think now 1.5 years ago, they were paroled. And we're now helping them get this presidential pardon that I was telling you about. And I'm very hopeful it's going to be the first actual successful presidential pardon application pretty soon.
Now, before I let you go, how can anyone that has got a problem, prisoner, waiting trial prisoner, or anybody who'd like to get in touch with the Wits Justice Project, how do they get in touch with you?
They can phone us, they can email us, they can fax us. Should I tell you the...
Yes, please.
Okay, they can phone 011-717-4087. That's actually my phone number.
Yes.
And they can also fax 011-717-4081.
And is there an email address or perhaps a website that they could look up?
If they want to, they can email me. That's ruth.hopkins@wits.ac.za.
Ruth.Hopkins?
At Wits?
Yes, at
.ac.za.
There you have it. Ruth, thank you so much for your time.
It's a pleasure.
And the explanation there, that was a senior journalist at the Wits Justice Project, Ruth Hopkins.